Hi guys, welcome back. As promised, today I have another Dior item to review with you. It came in this really pretty holiday themed packaging with a cute ribbon here that says Christian Dior on it. When you order from Dior's website, it comes with complimentary gift wrapping. Previously, when I ordered from them early fall, my order came with this really nice textured box and samples plus a pouch. But I guess for the holidays, they're kind of kicking things up a notch and having this really pretty themed wrapping. So let's go ahead and open this together and let's see what's inside other than the quint. So I can probably take a guess. We're gonna have some samples. Yep. You get to choose, I believe, 3 samples when you place an order, and they put some of my samples in this nice pouch here, and there are some drawstrings. I can definitely reuse this to put not only makeup but also accessories. So there is the lip glow. I selected this as one of my samples, and then in addition to that, they also included the Backstage Dior Face and Body Glow. I thought this was interesting. I'd like to try this. The sample comes with 3 products, part of their Face and Body Glow system, I guess. There's the primer, and then this here is the Natural Glow Booster. These are both suitable for all skin tones. And finally, this third here is the actual, it seems to be the actual foundation, available in 40 shades. That's pretty impressive. This is 2N, and it looks to be maybe too pink for me, but we'll try it one day, we'll demo it. Definitely looks really pretty on the models, of course. But that's cool. I'm interested in this product. And for the star of today's show, we have the actual quint itself. That snowflake embossing is gorgeous. If you saw my video on the other quint from the same holiday collection called Black Night, you would know it's just something I keep wanting to look at. I just can't take my eyes off of it. So we're gonna go ahead and do some swatches before we head to the demo. During the demo, I'll probably talk a bit about the formula, and of course, at the end where I summarize my thoughts. The product is made in Italy. This is different from their other quints, the ones they released in the fall. I have denim here. This is actually made in France, and while the packaging on both looks identical, they actually feel different. The one made in France is heavier and feels more substantial or sturdier. This is lighter in weight. It's still sturdy. I think it's still nice packaging, but they don't feel the same. And it's also lighter because there is less product in the holiday palette versus the fall release. So the fall release quints have 7 grams of product or 0.24 ounces. And the one from the holiday palette have 4 grams or 0.14 ounces. Let's head on to the swatches. This is what the shades look like on my finger. We'll start with this really kind of white, silvery, metallic, and then we'll go on ahead to kind of the champagne metallic that has a golden tone to it. Then we'll get to the cool toned gold shade, and that's beautiful. There's even kind of like a hint of green, or like this is an antique gold. Then we have the satin brown that I also feel like have some purple in it, like the slightest hint. It's not quite a brown. And then finally, the last metallic here has a green undertone to it. Gorgeous. This is beautiful. I'm excited to put these on my lids. Well, some of these shades do remind me of the Tom Ford Quad, so I'm just gonna take that out and we'll do some swatch comparisons. From the Tom Ford Quad, I do have First Frost here, also released for the holiday season. The 2 shades I want to swatch against Dior are these two. This is what they look like on my finger. This is whiter. There's definitely, in comparison, this is more of a champagne. As for the pink, a little bit more similar than the white. The pink from Tom Ford's First Frost is more pigmented, and there is a bit more reflective quality to it, which is a bit peachy. I would say gives like the vibe that it's rose gold, but not quite. It is still primarily pink. This is still a shade you can put all over your lids and kind of make that your look. Whereas the pink from Dior is more of a lid topper, and you just don't get as much pigmentation, so you're probably unlikely to use that all over the lids. It's definitely more of a lid topper. So heading on to the demo, I'll see you guys afterwards. We're going to first go into this shade here, and we're adding that to the outer corners and inner part of the lid. Now we're going to blend out the areas. Starting with the outer corner, I'm going to use Sonia G's Sky Face Set. This is the classic crease brush, and we're going to blend this color into the crease. Next, using a smaller blending brush, this is the Mini Booster, also from Sonia G's Sky Eye Set. We're going to go into the inner corners to do the same. We're going to diffuse and just make that look less harsh. Then we're going to go into this beautiful green brown, and we're placing that onto the center of the lid. Turning the brush to the other side, we're going to dip it into this antique gold, and we're topping the center of the lid with this shade, and we're moving some of that onto the crease. And we're going to go in with this pink shimmer here, and we're adding this light-handed onto the crease. We're taking this off-white shimmer shade here and applying that onto the brow bone. Then we're adding some to the inner corners. Using the brush from earlier, we're taking this pink shade and putting it under the lash line. And finally, we're taking a bit of the shade again, and we're putting that as a tight line just for this part here, because I do want to have some smokiness. My intention is to make this more of an evening look for holiday events, parties, etc. This is the finished look. The quality of the eyeshadows between Golden Show and Black Night, I would say they are the same. The deeper shades here are very, very pigmented, just like what I experienced with Black Night. And there are a bit more lighter shimmer shades, so the impact that you get, and I'm thinking specifically these two at the top here, they're just lighter, much lighter than the offering of this shade and of course this silver shade here. So when you apply that on your lid, the color payoff might be, you know, just as intense, but because it's a lighter shade, you're not gonna really see it visually. But I will say you can create smoky looks with Golden Show, as you can very naturally with Black Night. Although with Black Night, naturally most looks you create from it are going to be smoky because the entire palette is just several shades deeper. And whereas with Golden Show, you can just create very soft glam looks if you don't use this shade at all. Actually, if you ignore these two and just use these three, you can get some very pretty, you could say very daytime appropriate looks out of it. Now, when we look at the palettes side by side, you know, which one do I prefer more? So if you guys are trying to decide between these two palettes, I'm gonna say, well, first, let me say that this is the more popular color story of the two because the looks you can create are more wearable. Like, for example, this look that I have here, I could probably wear it during the daytime to work. So generally they're more wearable, but I've amped it up a touch for the evening so you can turn it to evening pretty easily. And I can definitely see why it is more popular. From Black Night, I do love this silver shade. And why don't we, while we're at it, swatch Black Night next to Golden Show. In the beginning of the video, I thought, you know, maybe you guys won't be interested in seeing that because they're just so different. But I think it's pretty obvious if you're trying to decide between one or the other, it helps to see them side by side. Now here we go in no particular order with the first shade. We have the shimmery black shade, and then the silvery shade that sits right next to it at the top. Then we have the black satin matte, and then the pop of burgundy, and finally we have the metallic blue shade, bottom corner, and we'll just ignore this. This doesn't look very nice at the end. So here they are side by side on my arm, and I have to say the silver shade from Black Night is probably my favorite out of both palettes. So if I had to choose one, I'm gonna go with Black Night for this shade. When you blend the silver shade into whatever smoky look you come up with, it blends so seamlessly, no fuss, and it ties everything together. It's like frosty and smoky. So because of that shade, I think I have to go with Black Night. And if I had to pick a shade, a favorite shade from the Golden Show palette, it's gonna be this one here because it has green brown tones to it. And I just don't have that many metallics in this particular shade or even close to it. And what you can do is gonna be beautiful. I could have used the shade for my outer corners and then added a bunch of gold onto it for that gradient effect, and then use this deeper kind of plummy brown as an eyeliner. Like that would have looked really great too. And I do enjoy this lighter pink here, although when I blended it in with the idea that it might kind of resemble the effect I would get from the silver, I didn't quite get it. And I think one reason is it just doesn't have enough pigment. So when you're looking at it like this, you can see some pink, but it doesn't have that same impact. That's also another reason why I chose Black Night, because that one shade just pulls everything together. It even, you could say, transforms your look to that next level. Very holiday appropriate. If you're going for more daytime appropriate looks or the ability to do that, then Golden Show is definitely the choice here. But if you're going for something that has that pow and it's just screams holiday, it stands out, then my vote is on Black Night. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful if you're trying to decide between the two palettes. I am very pleased I made the decision to get both of them, to add them to my collection. And if they decide to source from Italy for their future eyeshadow palettes, no complaints from me. very little fallout as you can see here. And today I even put all of my complexion products on first before I did the eye look. And there's just, it's not noticeable, any fallout. And that is probably the most impressive thing I find with the formula. You guys know, the less fallout, the better, less hassle, less cleanup, and I really appreciate that. I hope you have a great start to your weekend. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you like this video, you enjoyed this content, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified every time new content is released. Bye!